What's up, guys? Kane here. Today is Monday, March 9th, 2015, which of course means it is Funday Monday, the very first installment. You might have seen my announcement on the forums. Today's theme is going to be the two warrior rush, which is basically where you build two warriors out of your Cloakybot factory, then rush your opponent with those with the assistance of your commander. I guess I should say right now, if you're looking for a serious commentated 1v1 or an FP VOD of myself trying to beat opponents that I really have no chance against, you're probably going to want to skip this one. Tonight is all about fun, and we're just going to get, goofy with it pretty much. So I guess with that, we'll jump right into the first game, which is, of course, Hokomoko versus FX Drone. You can probably see here, I am going to try and do this as a single shot just because the games are so short. It doesn't really make sense to chop them all up into 84-second clips or thereabouts. These games, needless to say, it either works or it doesn't. So they go by very, very quickly. It looks like we might have loaded up into our first game here, and here we have it. FX Drone versus Hokomoko on Darkside Remake. I chose this as the first replay because it's a good demonstration of how the two warrior rush should go in an ideal world. Of course, it goes without saying, Drone here has a pretty good advantage with the yellow over Hokomoko, but this is a rush map, very common to see all sorts of rushes, mace rushes, the warrior rush, I guess, is sort of a new thing, nat rushes, whatever, any type of rush, you name it, it happens here. We're actually going to see a Banisher rush out of Hokomoko, sort of as a blind read against Drone's two warrior rush that he'll be executing. Actually, I think this mini-map is just a little bit too big. Whoops, game just started. Let me see if I can do this really quickly. Get this down to the... Okay, sweet. So over here on the west side, we're going to see Drone, this green Cloakybot factory where the evil Ds originate from. Here's this warrior being built up. He's actually morphing his combo to level 1. You can see it's a very fast 50 metal morph just to get, looks like a light particle beam. No other modules, so very quick morph to level 1 just to get it a weapon. I don't think it gets any health or attribute bonuses there, and here's the Banisher rush out of Hokomoko. Now, this should be a pretty strong rush. Let's take a look at this Banisher. It deals 440 damage per shot. That's quite a bit of damage. We can see here Hokomoko's Strike Commander, 2500 HP, and I do want to talk about Drone's Recon Commander here, just 1650 HP. I believe the lightest armored commander of all the commanders. It's the reason you would choose a Recon Commander is for speed, so that you can, especially during a rush, you want to be able to get over to the other side of the map as quickly as possible. Here, though, I don't think it works out with the Warriors, I think because of the speed difference, but I'm not sure. But as you can see here, the Banisher pretty quickly gets a couple of shots off. I guess I'll pause real quick. Gets a couple of shots off on this commander, quickly brings it down below half health, which is a very dangerous position. Hokomoko's doing an alright defense here. However, because this Banisher headed in to this group of 3 units to fire on it all at once, these two warriors plus the commander's DPS pretty quickly takes this guy down to, he's already at 25% health here. And this is a, looks like a rocket commander from Hokomoko. Let's have a look. Rocket launcher, yeah. And once again, just the weapon, no modules. So looking to very quickly and cheaply morph up to level 1 to get some extra firepower, and then spend most of the rest of your metal in the units for the rush. Very common theme among rushes. We can also see the Drone has been building glaives, sending them around the backside out of his factory afterwards. They're going to be able to take out whatever eco might be here from Hokomoko. None in this case, but here they'll be getting the factory, I would imagine, pretty quickly. So I guess with that, we'll continue here. And once again, this Banisher pretty quickly goes down. We can see that commander jumps away and lets these warriors take as much damage as possible, which, once again, you really want to be doing because these warriors can be repaired by the commander. The commander has nothing to repair it with this rush. And just look at how quickly these two warriors chewed down that strike commander. Basically one sentence is all I got. Here's the glaive coming around to take out the factory, and that's it. That's GG. In a minute and 23 seconds, it's game over. And Hokomoko always a good support about these types of things. So there it is. That's the God, my phone every single time, huh, guys? Sorry about that. Anyway, there's like the 10 out of 10 best case scenario execution. He even defeated a different rush with it, which I guess is, speaks well of this rush as far as being viable. It's definitely not the best rush as I've found out, so I guess we might as well exit this game now that it's over and move on to the next replay. It looks like I'm gonna be locking up here a little bit while I switch out technical difficulties. All right, so here we are on to the second one. After showing such a good example of how you can execute this rush well, I thought it would be good to show you the very first time I ever tried this rush against a human being. It was for the 1v1 tournament, which wasn't the most recent, so it would have been the January 1v1 tournament, I think, something like that. Yeah, 37 days ago. So anyway, yeah, January 1v1 tournament. Anyway, it was during a tournament. I lost the first round to Flaccid here, and I was pretty frustrated and tired because it was like 2 a.m. or whatever. And well, this was before I started very seriously practicing my play style. So, I mean, I just wasn't confident that I'd be able to beat Flaccid at all. So I decided to try this weird thing I'd been thinking of, the 2 warrior rush, and oops, forgot to kick off the game while I was yapping. And I mean, just look at this list of spectators, you know. It's, of course, because it was a tournament, everyone was watching within the game live, and then some people were watching on stream because Shadow Fear was casting. Flores was there commentating on just how, well, I guess you'll just have to see about all of that. Just about loaded up into the game here. Flash is going to be starting in the northwest. I forget which factory he chose, but I, of course, went for Cloakybots myself. Skip this pregame chat. Oh, you know what? I better turn off map markers because, well, this is a tournament, and so everyone's placing labels. I think this is the command. Is that right? Let's take a look at this log. Maybe it's singular. I probably should have looked this up beforehand. Anyway, that should pretty much do it, I guess. We'll jump right in here. No, that didn't work at all. So anyway, I can't delete these either. Basically, I just let the spectators know that I would be cheesing. And what is this? Oh, I broke the rules. This is before I actually had established the rules. But basically, I built one glaive to scout. So technically cheating, but I don't think it ultimately matters. I'm also assisting the warrior to try and get him out quicker. I think I ended up assisting both warriors completely, which was a huge mistake, and then I'm also sending this warrior out all on his lonesome. Nothing really there. My glaive does catch up with the dirtbag, so I know he's playing shield bots, and I ultimately get to the factory. Here's the big problem, though. I think he gets the scout on me with this dirtbag. I'm not too sure. Maybe not. It's close, though. I don't think he saw it. Doesn't look like he's doing anything to respond to it quite yet. There we go. He definitely scouted that one, though. And so here's my commander hanging out with a couple of warriors, and there's probably a bunch of chatter down here, but I'm mostly just focused on the game. And I mean, this is really the #1 mistake. What I had planned to do was sort of catch any raiders that might have been sent out early with this, and so that there'd be less for the comm to defend against. But unfortunately, that's not how it played out. Instead, I ended up just sort of walking him right into the commander in this defender nest that he starts building up. So right away, I take a few shots from this defender, and then these bandits come in, and with that and the commander, this warrior actually, I think he goes down. Yeah, pretty much immediately, which makes this just a 1 warrior rush, which is considerably less powerful. Does a good job with the bandits naturally. I think I did morph my column to level 1. He should just be using a beam laser is all. I'm also using the recon commander here once again for speed. I wanted him to be able to keep up with the warriors as well as possible. But like I said, this is before I had really done any science or like experimented or gotten advice or watched better players execute this rush. And so here I try to just sort of duel his commander, which is a huge mistake because it's a strike commander, so it has more HP than the comm. Then I jump away and, well, it's just sort of suicide my warrior right into all of these raiders and stuff. Isn't a good start. And so here I'm left with my comm, 75% HP. I managed to take out one more bandit. Now I'm trying to sneak around back, and I mean, it's pretty desperate at this point. And once again, I pick a bad fight with this commander. These bandits come in to assist, and then I think I end up trying to jump away. GG. Well, yeah, you guys pretty much see how this goes. And with that, I GG, compliment my opponent, and try to meditate on what exactly I did wrong. So there we go. There's our first fail submission for the night. Yeah, definitely didn't go very well my first time. So I don't want you guys to get the impression that this has a 100% win rate. That being said, it does have a pretty good win rate. I don't know what to say. But we'll go ahead and just exit now. And on to the next one here. It's going to be myself and Orphilius. Now, you might have seen this one if you watch the channel regularly. I actually did it as an FP VOD and sort of as a promo for Funday Monday. But I did that, like I said, as an FP VOD. So I wanted to go over and commentate it real quick, because it sort of demonstrates, well, the first leap in my understanding of how to execute this well. And, well, it's going to be a minute here while we load up into game. So, Orphilius, I think during this game actually had a lower elo than me. I don't remember off the top of my head. But he's actually a very strong player. He's been at the top of the rankings before, and I like to play him a lot. I mean, he generally beats me. In fact, I don't remember the last time I beat this guy. So, I knew it would be hard to execute starting out. I also figured that he would just sort of blind read me, because this was right after I announced Funday Monday And so pretty much the people who play with me regularly already knew about it, and that I was up to something devious. So here we go. I remember I dedicated this to Ivan D. I don't remember exactly why. I think he got cheesed or something, or Felix had just beat him, or I don't really remember why I placed this label exactly, but I do remember dedicating the game to my good buddy Ivan D. Now, we also see that up in the Northwest here, Orpheus is kind of a non-standard start. He's going, Metal Extractor first, followed by a Defender. It's actually kind of unheard of in 1v1. So this is what I'm talking about with the blind read. I actually haven't watched this replay from his perspective, so I'm not too sure exactly how he sets up before all of this, but I do have the first Warrior, and I guess I should talk about a couple of the innovations here. First of all, I only assisted the first Warrior, headed out immediately with that and my Commander. And I'm trying to keep these guys together because that was the #1 piece of advice I had about when I failed to execute against Flaccid. And the second innovation is to use this this battle commander. It's definitely a troll comm. I end up morphing it to level 2, but it's a rocket commander, which was recommended to me by Saktoth, and it just worked out so well. I ended up using not only the rocket launcher, but as we'll see here in just a moment, I also slapped on a couple of range extension modules. So here at level 1, you can see it has the advanced targeting system for some extra range, the rocket launcher, quite a bit of health, 3,000 health. So as long as, he's not using the battle commander, I'll have a huge HP advantage. And in fact, here he ends up using the strike commander. So he does ultimately plop a factory and builds, let's see, 2 warriors, a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. I show up right around the same time that he starts to head out. And here he sort of gives me the slip. He ends up going down, not to spoil it too much, but he ends up going down south, as you'll see here, and pretty much moving right by me. He doesn't have radar or anything, so this is just dumb luck. But yeah, basically I rushed directly through the center, and so probably was a good guess that he would be safe to move out over the southern hill. It's going to be kind of slow, so I guess I'll speed through this bit. Basically what happens is I end up at his base. I take a few shots on this warrior, but I pulled him right back, as you saw. And now there's a couple of glaives coming out of the factory, which actually fooled me. I thought that he hadn't rushed anything, that he was playing an eco game. And if that was the case, I would have just wrecked his entire base and pretty much just immediately won the game. But not seeing his comm anytime here pretty much tipped me off that he had headed out south with something. And once I realized there wasn't anything set up, no metal extractors in these front 2 spots, that sort of thing, I pretty much had an idea that he had rushed something and slipped by me. At this point, he's about halfway to my base, and you can pretty much see how this goes. Basically, I end up destroying his factory, and then I go for some eco. He does have a couple of glaives that slip out here. He finds my factory just a little bit later and takes it out pretty quickly with his own 2 warriors, and at this point, I figure out it's a 2-warrior Rushmere, and this is where it gets interesting because we have just base traded, and we have both just used the 2-warrior rush. Now, I think he's in a better position because I have 0 eco. He has this caretaker, and then he'll be able to reclaim this, and if he builds some energy structures, this is a winning position for Orpheus. Basically, I guess he knew that I would get here, destroy the base, then head back to my base to finish him off. His plan was to settle down and, with the extra eco, basically fortify a position that would make me suicide into like defenses or whatever. I don't recall what exactly his whole plan was, but we'll see it executed here in just a minute. I just realized I've been playing with the lighting mode on. Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, yeah, it looks like he's setting up, a gunship plant, that's right. Sends out these glaives as a little perimeter, and then I walk in pretty quickly with the warriors. Sets up his own warriors to defend, and at this point I'll slow it back down to normal time. So he's building up this factory. That's what he's spending 100% of the eco on, and he doesn't have a constructor here to be reclaiming. So he's doing all of this on, looks like, +7 metal per second and 6 energy from the commander. I think this caretaker's actually producing a little bit for him. Yeah, it doesn't look to be too much. Now he is reclaiming to get some more metal going on. Now I'm starting to push into his position. He set up the defender, which is pretty great against warriors, especially if you mass him. And I make a bit of a mistake here by engaging one of his warriors too early. It's actually with the retreat micro. I'm not sure if you caught it, but basically I was walking backwards, he was walking forwards. By doing that, I was able to just barely take him out before he took me out, but then his defender reloaded and took me out pretty quickly. See if I can just clear these real quick. And so, yeah, it's not a good start. And like I said, Orpheus is in a really great position here. At this point, I figure that I will snipe out his defenses with my commander. So I had a huge advantage with this commander. It has 3 range extension modules on it, as you can see here, compared to his strike commander, which is just level 1. Has looks like a rocket, No, a missile launcher, which is why it has a faster rate of fire, and then high power servos for a speed advantage. Probably looking to dodge out this rocket. I don't think it works out too well. I end up with a pretty good accuracy against his commander with this rocket, and so I'm repairing my second warrior here. Definitely want to keep him in the game as much as possible. He's repairing his commander with his caretaker. His caretaker is a big deal, especially at this point. Now he does sneak out a constructor. It looks like I'm not sure if I ended up pitching that or not. I don't really remember, but yeah, he does sneak out a constructor, and so here I snipe out this defender. I have to leave this second defender incomplete for a little bit, and I'm kind of proud of this. Basically what I did was I set a repair order on this defender, fired a pot shot at the caretaker while the missile was in transit, while the commander was still reloading. I went back to repairing the defender to try and finish it up because it was so close, and then pretty much right as I reload, I went to turn around to fire the second shot. And yeah, well, I'm pretty proud of that. And so now I have a nice little defensive perimeter. I've taken out his caretaker, which is the big advantage here. I'm going to go toe-to-toe with Calm. He realizes that's a losing battle between the battle commander, and the massive range on these rockets is kind of ridiculous. So because he had this gunship plan out, I think this was his plan originally, basically to build some gnats, to stun out my commander and whatever warriors were left. He's taken out both my warriors. He still has one left over, by the way. Basically the only thing left for me, in fact, literally the only thing left for me, are my two defenders, the radar, and this commander here. I built the radar on the way in just to sort of get an idea of what all was in here and where any units might be if they escaped out to the sides. But yeah, at either rate, I end up taking out one of his warriors with mine and the defenses that he's placed here. But this gnat is a big deal. I mean, even the one gnat, because of the rocket commander, I wouldn't be able to hit it. I have to rely on my stack defenses to take these out. It's a really big threat. I didn't actually expect him to have a factory up at all. So now I'm pretty much fearing for my life. You can see here I pretty quickly get up to 85% stun. I'll walk back into my defenders to try and get them to take out these gnats that remain. I do end up taking out these two, and at this point I thought it was GG when I got stunned out, so I'm immediately building a Lotus just because my life depends on it. I need a Lotus there to take out whatever gnats come in, and I don't get it up all the way. I do manage to take out his warrior. It was a bit of miss micro. The warrior already had some damage. He shouldn't have charged in here. I think the plan was to get me while I was stunned, but he didn't expect the defenders to take out the gnats. I slap up this LLT as fast as I can. I still have a ton of storage and I'm accessing, but who really cares? So now I just begin building tons of defenses because it's like, well, I need to use this metal as well as I can because he's using his, which gave him a really good advantage to start out with. I think I would have lost the game if not for having the better commander build for this sort of thing. And so, yeah, basically I'm going to try and defender creep into his base and box him in here. And that's it. These two gnats look like they're about to charge out. I think they wait to regroup until they have some more gnats. He's reclaiming. He's trying to get his commander back. He totally just dodged his shot with those gnats. That was really nice. So this fourth gnat comes up and now he heads in for it. But I don't think he was expecting the LLT to be here, which does a pretty good job of taking out the gnats. Not perfect. I am stunned out for quite a few seconds, but ultimately I have the stack defenses here. So, I mean, that's saving me. Putting up this LLT is like, and having the metal in my storage to do it, that was a huge deal. Okay, so at this point, the commander slips up to the north, and basically he gets away. I don't end up taking him out. I do get him down to quite a bit of health. Now let's take a look at that constructor that we saw sneak away. Oh, he's back here at the base, rebuilding his economy. And, well, I am not doing anything of the sort. I am building a Cloakybot factory. This takes quite a while. I was relying definitely on my storage to do most of it. I think I end up needing to reclaim in order to finish it off. I don't quite remember. No, I had enough innate production to finish it off nearly. So once I get the factory up, I immediately build a constructor because I'm like, huh, it's a pretty good idea to have some eco. In fact, I ended up building two, which is interesting. And then some glaives immediately because my plan was to just find him and wipe him out before he could build, essentially. So I'm coming in here with my commander. More gnats trying to stun me out. Doesn't really work out with the glaives here to defend me, but I mean, again, it's close. Gnats are a great answer to this rush. So anyway, he tries to run away here with the strike commander. There's quite a bit of regeneration going on. You remember when he ran away from the base? He was at like 20% health or something. He's nearly back to 80%, or he was when I first engaged him. Also having a high rate of fire on this missile launcher instead of the low rate of fire, high damage on my rocket launcher ends up doing really well for him against these glaives. So it's something you keep in mind. Typically, when you're doing the two warrior rush, you have the warriors, for riot units to take out whatever raiders come, so you don't have to worry about, having a rocket launcher on your commander, not being able to hit raiders with it. But yeah, ultimately he does get pushed back to the base. I mean, once again, this range just plays out. You know, it's a huge deal. Look at the difference in ranges between my rocket launcher and his missile launcher with those 3 modules on it. And I mean, originally I had just chosen it to sort of try and bust pork like defenders. I think just barely slip outside of the range, but it's enough range that you can sort of engage them. Charging in here with my glaives, like I said, this missile launcher cleans him up pretty well. It's like a more powerful slasher, I guess. So anyway, backs up now. He's got a second gunship plant coming in, and well, I don't think it ever gets completed. Pretty much, I press against him here with these glaives, and I did manage to. Oh no, his constructor's still up, building energy. I take it out, I think, with his first rocket launcher shot, or a missile. Yeah, rocket launcher shot. Don't quite take him out with the glaives here, but pretty much he's pinned down. I have, yeah, the units coming in, and he actually just resigns from this position. So got a little bit hairy for me. I was definitely worried about it. If you want the full emotional roller coaster, you should definitely check out the FP VOD. It's a lot more interesting when I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, so that was the first time I actually executed it successfully against a human being. So with that, on to the next one. It's going to be Hokomoko versus myself. I decided to try it again sometime later. Actually, it was just this weekend now that I think about it. So yeah, pretty much. I didn't click on the thing. We'll load into it right now. There's a few spectators. Basically, at this point, I had a pretty good feel for how to execute this. I think I tried it against a couple other people. I don't really remember. I made a mistake and didn't record all of my different attempts at this. But yeah, like I said, it has a pretty good win rate. I only messed it up the very first time I tried it. And I mean, once you learn that lesson, and you know, once Saktoth pointed out that a battle commander would be a good idea, I was quick to scoop that up, and it's worked out pretty well ever since. So here we go. I'm going to be trying to cheese my buddy Hokomoko here. I think I ended up building a little bit of eco this time, trying to take a leaf out of Orpheus's book because, well, I realized if we ended up in a base trade, having at least the 1 metal extractor would help out quite a bit. So then I pretty quickly go into assisting the first warrior. I think I'll hang out here. No, I'll push out with the first warrior, it looks like. In fact, this warrior should be guarding my commander, yeah. And immediately more from the comm. This is the same comm as last time. It has the advanced radar or advanced targeting module or whatever. And so I finish up the second warrior without incident. He scouts it pretty early on. He definitely knows what's happening since, well, this pretty much just happened to him. And I reach the base, and this goes just about as well as I could have hoped. Look at that, man. Even at Morph level 1, it's taking out those Rockos in one shot. This is the defender, boom, one shot. And with the commander, you can just tank so much from the defenses. You know, at 3,000 HP, you have a ton of auto repair. And, I mean, it just works out great. Between that and, you know, I sort of wedge my warriors down in here to take out his factory real quick. And then I head up north to try and chase down his commander. Pretty much. Actually, I'm trying to take out his eco. He does have a few raiders out. You can take out the factory and then one on the south side. I had expected that he snuck out a con, but that really wasn't the case. And yeah, interesting to note here, Drone noting in the spectator chat that the comm one-shots defenders. You know, it's a really nice build for it. So Hokomoko, basically Leroy Jenkins is way right here into both my warriors. Manages to take one of them out, but with some help from my commander, and that other warrior finishes up pretty nicely. And so, well, that's essentially the end of that. I mean, it just works so well on the maps with short rush distances. There's essentially, you know, nothing blocking you from getting from one base to the other, which is very much the case on this next replay that we'll see here. In fact, yeah, you know what? I think I can spoil it for you guys. This is tonight's second fail submission, and well, basically I had to mix in a couple of these because I didn't want people to be worried that this was like game breaking. It can definitely fail. Usually it's a matter of execution, but I think most competent high-level players will be able to defend against it in most cases if they have a good scout and enough time to prepare. So anyway, our hero this time is actually Hokomoko. After being 2 warrior rushed twice tonight, he decided to finally execute it himself against one of my other good buddies, Ivan D, playing the Shieldbot factory as is his wont on a map like this. And yeah, well, we'll just skip past the the boring part here. Get a couple of warriors out. Recon Commander from Hokomoko. Not sure if he hadn't seen myself using the Battle Commander or just didn't want to build a Cheese Commander for it or whatever. Who knows? Or maybe he just really wanted the speed. But yeah, basically, is this commander just gliding along? Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, so anyway, just opting for the speed here. Now he's setting up a perimeter. Oops, I should slow this back down to 1x speed. Setting up a perimeter of defenders here, which is basically going to whittle away at the position, which is, I mean, really nice way to do it. But look at this response from Ivan D. I'm not sure if he got the scout. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did end up getting the scout with the dirtbag because he almost always sends one out. He pretty quickly starts building up a stinger, morphing his comm to level 1, I believe. Let's have a look. Yeah, morphing to level 1, and this is his shotgun commander, as you can see by the name. So this is a really nice defensive setup. He's also got the Faraday here, an LLT. So with a good scout on this rush, you can definitely prepare for it. So anyway, we'll jump right back in here. So these warriors are going to be heading up around the north side. I don't think Hokomoko's aware of the stinger quite yet, but well, now he definitely is. So that commander takes one shot directly to the dome, and you can see that, I mean, he's down at like half health already. I think that's below half health if I remember how to math correctly. Yeah, just under half health with one stinger shot. So I mean, that second stinger shot is going to finish him off. 1850. So pretty much any time you step to a stinger with the recon commander, it's going to get taken out 2 shots. So this is kind of a risky proposition, and that's why I say if you're going to use this rush, you should use the battle commander. You need the tankiness. You need the tankiness is huge, really. And then you strap on, you know, a rocket launcher, a couple of range modules to take out the pork, and it just works out so well. I just haven't, you know, it's way harder to execute with a light commander like the recon commander, and the mobility isn't enough of an advantage to justify it over the battle commander. So yeah, we'll jump right back in here. This stinger does a pretty great job. That defender does act to block the next stinger shot once it turns around on these warriors who have definitely overcommitted by coming into the back of the base here. That goes down as well. The commander is taken out, but Hokomoko is left with just his commander against this fortified position and a factory from Ivan D. But it's important to note, Ivan D, I don't think has he does have, he has metal extractors up here to the north. This is the only thing saving Ivan D, because at this point he doesn't have, he has just one metal extractor in his base. So yeah, hard to say. I think Hokomoko definitely wouldn't have been able to do anything because this bandit would take out his only metal extractor and the factory as well. So this is definitely do or die for Hokomoko, and not looking too great having lost both of his warriors. This stinger does a really great job of defending the rush, and in fact with that final shot, the commander does go down. So I mean, Ivan D basically as well prepared as you could possibly be for a rush like this. Let me take a drink of water real quick, guys. Pretty much as well prepared as you could possibly be for a rush like this. You have the HLT, which is going to take down the commander, the warriors, no problem whatsoever, and then the Faraday to sting out anything that happens to come in your actual base. So this is a great defensive setup. If you do scout someone to warrior rushing you, I think Stinger's definitely the way to go. And then maybe the Faraday after that. Maybe the Faraday is better because it can stun out and it only costs 200 metal. It might buy you more time. You know, I'm not really sure. Yeah. You know what? I think the Faraday first is a good idea rather than the Stinger. Anyway, some mixture thereof. This is a nice defense by Ivan D either way. And it's good to see that the rush can be beat when executed on at least somewhat equal footing. And so, with that out of the way, we're on the final replay of the night. Anarchid and Ivan D here on Cooper Hill, map that we just watched myself, Cheese Hokomoko on a few minutes ago anyway. And so, yeah, we're going to wait for this to load up. Pretty interesting match, this one. I definitely am glad that I'm going to be able to end the night on it. It was played with no Elo on, which might have been a little bit of a tip-off, but Ivan D over here in the east side is our hero, and he's going to be pretty quickly sending out a couple of warriors, as we can see here. So first warrior just about finished. He's actually not assisting the warrior with his commander. He's just using, he's just heading out immediately with the commander, then probably trying to catch up with the warrior. I don't remember exactly how the execution goes, but he does morph it to level 1 pretty quickly. Weird Rocco, so this probably a rocket commander as opposed to the missile launcher commander. Yeah, and it also has the advanced targeting system. So this is basically a strike commander version of the com build that I was using. Big difference being the speed and just a little bit less HP, 500. Which, I mean, in a rush like this, it can definitely make a difference. So here we go, and I guess I can speed through this just until Ivan D gets here into the base of Anarchid. We should take a look here, I guess, real quick at Anarchid's position. So you can see from here, he's actually just playing a totally normal game. Essentially, he's got, you know, his metal extractors, the solar collectors, built the constructor first, so he actually has no military other than his commander. Doesn't even have stacked defenses, which is a little bit unusual. Typically, by, you know, the 1 minute mark, you'll at least have started an LLT or something like that. But well, I guess that's not true for all players. But at any rate, he's pretty much his only reaction can be to morph his comm to level 1 and try to kick out a pyro as fast as possible. Also, kind of an unfortunate matchup for him because, well, I think a single pyro against a single warrior wins for the warrior almost every time. And there are, in fact, 2 warriors out, or will be shortly. Let's see here. Oh no! Oh no! What am I seeing here? Ivan D, what are you doing, man? Look at this. Well, I don't think he submitted this. I think I just picked this one on my own accord. I'm sorry, I was just so thrown for a loop. He's actually building 2 constructors after his first warrior, so this is a slight variation. But you know what? I'm gonna allow it because really the execution certainly makes up for it. So anyway, gets into the base here, and with his commanders able to shut down the factory immediately. There's not going to be any pyros coming up, at least while this commander's inside the base. Anarchid tries to push him away with his own commander, and look at this beautiful, beautiful, top-notch micro from Anarchid. He's dodged every single one of these rockets so far. This comm is still at 100% HP. That's like unheard of. He's, I mean, this is all he's doing is clicking back and forth, trying to dodge these rockets as they come in. He is trying to toe-to-toe this warrior. Does manage to take out quite a bit of health from it, but yeah, ultimately between the commander and the warrior, comm does go down. With that and the factory lockdown, typically what you would see from most players is a GG and moving on. But Anarchid, always the stubborn one, actually has 1 pyro left here on the central hill. And I forgot the L key again. So this is pretty much a salvation. 1 pyro and 1 constructor. His base in ruins. He did manage to take out Ivan D's factory. Ivan D does have a constructor up to the north side, which is sort of his ace in the hole. So basically the difference between Ivan D's position and Anarchid's position is the strike commander, and the difference between a pyro and a warrior, I suppose. So the pyro comes in from the back here, tries to catch the commander out of position while the warrior is not here to defend it, and jumps away right away. I don't think this rocket comm ends up hitting the pyro at all. So once again, we're going to see some more beautiful micro. And I guess we'll speed up for just a minute till the action continues. There we go. And so, whoops, here's another engagement. This pyro's trying to take a few pot shots off of this warrior. I think he pretty handily outranges the warrior. Oh, it's kind of close. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think it can ultimately kite the warrior between the speed and the range advantage. That does look to be the case here now. This warrior's gone down, taking quite a bit of damage. 22% health. Definitely needs to get repaired by this strike commander. We've got the LT coming up as well, so a little bit of support here for this pyro. And check it out, more beautiful micro. This pyro hasn't been hit yet, man. This pyro is invincible. This is a heroic pyro. Okay, so right as I say that, he does ultimately get a shot taken from that rocket launcher, but gets repaired by the constructor pretty quickly. And there we go. Almost immediately back up to 65% health, and here we can see there's more repair going on from Ivan D on his warrior as well. So I guess in the meantime, he does build up a radar tower, which is going to give him some nice visibility over Anarchid's position and let him know if any units do manage to sneak away. This constructor is also going to be reclaiming and building up some energy at the same time. I mean, this is not just micro, this is like economy micro plus unit micro at the same time, where he's slapping down the solar collector. Like, Anarchid's trying to make a comeback here. He didn't just throw his hands up because he lost his commander in his factory, and he's giving Ivan D hell. Look at this. I mean, he's taking all these pot shots off, he's letting the units burn away, he's taking out a ton of damage on this constructor, and even though he's getting hammered by this commander all the time, he's doing a great job. Takes a few more shots from that warrior, though. Things are dangerously close. 52 HP for this pyro. And that warrior, I mean, not doing much better. 60 HP itself. This commander trying to repair the constructor. and it looks like the constructor is going to be building a defender. Try and put up some stack defense. It's definitely the right call here. This pyro is just 8% health, actually not regenerating at all. I mean, if you're Anarchid, what do? Do you repair the pyro? Do you build more E? Do you try and do something about this LT getting picked off by the commander? He just jumps away with both units, and looks like, I think he ends up repairing. No, he doesn't quite repair the pyro. This pyro somehow took 3 more damage. I'm not really sure what happened there, but yeah, repair, man. That's pretty much what you've got to do. So now this LT actually being manually fired somewhere over here. I'm not sure exactly why, but a nice little move, trying in a last-ditch effort to take out whatever it could. Just on the edge of the range for the pyro, and sorry, for the LT. This pyro is finally getting repaired, back up to 65% health. I mean, you just can't get over it. How much damage this pyro is doing is not expected to do this much. I mean, I don't think it's killed anything quite yet, but just seeing it jump around like that, and I mean, take as much damage and repair, and then deal more damage. It's down to the wire. This commander definitely still has to be careful. I mean, Ivan D's trying to clean this up as quickly as he can, but Anarchist's not going to take it laying down. You know, he got a bad start, but he's going to play it out. He does get a few more shots off on this commander. It's unfortunately kind of a bleak situation for Anarchid without much eco, and really just the one unit, but he's using this one unit to its fullest. Have you ever seen a pyro do so much damage? It's just kind of insane to me. So this commander does creep down to the south. I think, yep, ultimately does pick off the constructor, and then this is where he's going to head up north to chase this pyro around. It's going to be another moment before we see another engagement here. This pyro manages to take out the radar tower, I believe. There we go. Goes over to the east side. Now at this point, Ivan D is going to be rebuilding over to the west. So he heads out to the east to try and reclaim. I mean, this is... Oh! He does still have the constructor. Oh, my God. So Anarchid still has this constructor. He repairs the pyro once again. How did this constructor get away? I didn't even see him. This is a very sneaky constructor, definitely. So this pyro at full health, he's going to charge out again. Ivan D is now morphing his rocket comm to level 3, it looks like. 3 range modules on the rocket commander. And like ships in the night that just barely passed. Looks like the commander spots out the pyro, probably on radar. At the very least. No, I think it's just in line of sight. This square comes over to the right side to try and force out this constructor, try to take out, you know, the pesky constructor that keeps repairing the pyro. And this pyro down to just 2 HP as it takes out all 3 of these defenders. This is what I'm talking about. This is unbelievable. Like, I've never seen such ridiculousness from a pyro. And he gets all 3 of them too. He gets this 4th one that's under construction. Now this constructor has to run away. Like, he cleans up this whole base. Like, this is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And trying to suss out where exactly this con is cloaked out to. I think he's going to end up getting away, but I mean, look at that. Just 2 HP. He's still fighting 1 unit. It has 2 health points to its name, and Anarchid is still not giving up. He's not going to take this line down. I mean, he wants to come back. I'm not sure, you know, how great his chances are at the moment, but it's just awesome to see him play it out. And yeah, ultimately, he does throw in the towel. That pyro dying the most noble death, choosing to end itself. I mean, that was just unbelievable, right? That was nice execution from Ivan D. That was nice defense from Anarchid, and some of the most beautiful pyro micro I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that, you guys. Thanks so much for your submissions. I mean, I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had some fun watching this too. Don't forget to send in your ideas for future Funday Monday themes. And definitely send in links to replays of you trying out the builds or the strategies, if you can call them that, I guess in air quotes. But yeah, so anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I'll catch you guys next time.